Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about something that's very important for videos like this, or streaming in particular, as you'll see from my streaming setup, and that is lighting. Lighting is very overlooked a lot of the time, and it can actually be something that levels up your video quality without having to upgrade your camera or anything like that. So I'm going to explain how I have my lighting set up, because I recently actually changed it and I think it looks a lot better now. And we're going to explain what the different uses for certain lights are, where to position them. So let's go over to the streaming setup. So this is what the whole lighting setup looks like, and I'm going to show you each individual light by itself and we'll build it up from nothing. So right now I'm only being lit by my monitors right now, which, given that this lens is an f1.7, it's actually, you can actually see a decent amount of light, and the ISO's on auto, so it's probably all the way up. But now I'm going to turn on the first light I have, which is just an accent light I have, which is this blue LED strip that I have behind me. You can see it's a very cheap light, so you can actually see the flickering in the image if you look too closely, because it is not a dedicated video light, it's just a cheap LED strip from Kmart. So that's just to provide a bit of color in the background. And then the other background light I have to provide some opposing color is the ceiling lights back here. The orange and blue sort of provide some contrast from each other, so it's not just like dark void back there, or, you know, plain brown walls or whatever. So I decided to turn that light on because it does provide a good contrast from the blue. Now getting on to the more important lights that actually have a function other than just providing some more interesting aspect to the background. Back behind me on my right, I have what would be known as a hair light or an edge light or a rim light, which basically provides an outline of my hair, the side of my body here, because it is behind me and it is coming from the side. It is also sort of acting like a fill light as well, because it is sort of filling in this part of my face. But the thing is, it is a little bit too bright to do that properly. So I actually have it pointing back, bouncing off the wall, and it is sort of also, because it is bouncing off the wall, it is filling out just the brightness of the room itself. So that is just a daylight colored lamp that is actually quite bright. I can't remember the wattage of it, but it's reasonably high for a lamp like it. And, you know, this could, you know, almost be enough, but you can tell that there's no key light on me right now. So it is lighting up this side of my face. It provides this nice outline to separate me from the background. That is one of the primary roles of a hair light or a rim light, is to separate me from the background. So these are 3 of the 4 lights I have on, and then we turn on the most important light, which is the key light. And this is a light that I have just above my monitors here. It is, again, it's not an expensive light. It was like $50 from Kmart, but it is their streamer light. So it looks kind of like an Elgato key light or that sort of thing. It does have some diffusion in it, so I do have it pointing directly at me, and it doesn't look terrible, but it is obviously not the softest, as it's, you know, it's only $50, so it's not like a dedicated video light with a light dome and a softbox or anything like that. So this is what it looks like as a whole. I'll show you each individual light by itself. So this is just the key light. This would probably do for, you know, a lot of things, but it also is not very interesting sort of thing. Like, it lights up my face plenty, but it leaves a lot to be desired in the background. We saw this one before. This one is just, again, adding a bit of color and something interesting to the background. As is this one, it's not really adding much to me, but it provides some context for the background. Not only does it provide some color, but it also lights up stuff over here, and you can see there's actually a small reflection right there, that because it's so out of focus, it does provide a decent bokeh on that reflective object right there. And finally we have the rim light, which is off behind me to my right, bouncing off the wall, and because it's bouncing off the wall, it is lighting up a lot of the room itself. It is being fairly diffused overall, but you can see it is more prominent on this side of my face, obviously, because that's where it's coming from. Lighting is one of those things that is very often overlooked, but it's also one of the most important things to make a video look good. To make a good video, you need, obviously, decent video, but good lighting really makes a difference. You can make a worse camera look better with really good lighting. To demonstrate my point, I will also use just my phone camera to show you the difference that lighting can make. So this is with the full lighting setup, everything on, and you know, it looks pretty reasonable. But now if I turn everything off and we go to just the ceiling light above me that I basically never turn on, you can see how much worse that is. Not only is it just way warmer, it does not need to be this yellow. You don't want it to be this yellow. The white balance is way off. But just the angle of the light, my face is a lot darker because the light is behind me and above, and it just doesn't look good. And you can see that on the good camera as well. Yeah, it's, you know, this is doable, but it's not good by any means. As you can see from that demonstration, lighting is very important, and I hope you learned something. And if you know, if you need to do some sort of video production or streaming or anything like that, I hope that helps. If this video was either entertaining or you learned something, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, that's all. Bye. Thumbnail.